Welcome back to Tiny House Basics, and here is a tiny house tour. This is the entertaining abode. It is a 28-foot long by 8.5-foot wide tiny house built on a 28-foot long by 8.5-foot wide tiny house basics trailer foundation with 4-inch drop axles and flush cross members and brakes on all axles. So this is a very, very stout trailer. If you're really curious on how much this tiny house weighs as it is, I'll tell you at the end of the video, but it will surprise you. So the exterior is LP Smart Siding, painted in this beautiful white by Sherwin-Williams. Coming around the back, we got the business end of the tiny house. We have the little bathroom window right there. Rinnai exterior water heater. We always use Rinnai in all of our tiny house builds. We got our exterior rated circuit panel right here, so it doesn't take up any room on the interior and just keeps all this business stuff right there. That is our gas line for the propane for the cooktop in the kitchen. And then coming around the other side, we have a little water spigot right there. That is the supply line. As you notice with this tiny house, it's 28 feet long, but it has those 2 feet bump outs on the front and back. So those you'll be able to see once we go on the inside, but that adds interior size for the lofts of this tiny house. We just missed that last there, but that was the drain line for the gray water. This tiny house has a composting toilet, but all the water, wastewater from the shower and the 2 sinks will be gray water, and that little black connection on the rear is the gray water connection. Really, really love how this tiny house turned out with the little wood accents under the cantilever. Those cantilevers are 2 feet out. So it adds 2 feet of interior space. 2 feet we find is just like the perfect little match or the perfect proportions for if you're going to be doing a cantilever on a tiny house. It's obviously extra framing, but it's not that much framing where you don't have to do cantilevered headers inside the wall framing. So 2 feet adds a lot of interior space, gives it more texture, a better design, and then we also have that roof overhang, which 12 inches on the front and back. So yeah, let's go on the inside now. So popping on into the inside, you can see a little bedroom on the right-hand side, which we'll get to a little bit later. Left-hand side, we got the kitchen that kind of pops out with that corner sink. We got a little dining area with a little pop-up table. We have a tiny little living room, but yeah, let's go into this bedroom right now. So we just have a little twin bed right here, just to kind of mock it up. But this bedroom is about 8 feet wide and just under 8 feet long. We have the barn door sliding ladder, which is dual purpose to close off the bedroom, but also allow access to the upper loft. You can see the fender right there. So when you're not doing a deck over style trailer where it has the flat deck, you will have to deal with the fenders. And so you kind of incorporate them into the design. So they kind of go underneath the stairs. They go underneath this right section where the washer dryer would be. So that's the washer dryer box. Fender is kind of in that area underneath it. So that's why it's kind of raised up above it. We have these cubby stairs right here, and then this kitchen that kind of tilts out to the corner. So we have that double basin sink right there with a unique shape to kind of maximize the area that we have here to kind of give you more counter space, but also more functionality with that sink. This little dining nook was requested by the client. It's a really cool little feature, kind of like a little study area, dining area, but enough seating for 2 if you get very, very cozy. But that's a nice little addition to this little space to make a modular little dining working nook. So that turned out really good. We have the same countertops as the rest of the kitchen, the butcher block. And as the camera pulls back right now, take a look at that walkway they have between the cubby stairs and the kitchen cabinets. Now this is an 8.5-foot wide trailer, but you can really see why the popularity of 10-foot wide tiny houses have really taken off. 9 out of every 10 tiny house trailers we build are 10 feet and wider. The 8.5 feet wide models aren't as popular these days, but you can kind of see that when you're walking through. It's a little bit more of a tighter squeeze, more of a hallway feel. When you do a 10-foot wide tiny house, you just add that extra, an extra 1.5 feet of space. You can make this downstairs bedroom bigger, but just think about that kind of when you're going through this house on a tour of if you want to do an 8-foot wide model, 8.5 foot wide model like this, or if you want to do something wider like a 10-foot wide model. So we really worked really hard to kind of maximize the usability of this space in an 8.5 foot wide size, and then also really just kind of hit all the aspects that the customer really needed and wanted in this space. Right here, the fender is in that area, so it worked out because the customer actually wanted a cooktop like that, and then they wanted their convection oven that goes underneath it. So that's why it's designed like that. We have the little spice drawer, and then pocket doors is also another great thing of space saving. You don't have to deal with a swinging door if you don't feel like doing a barn door, or if you're doing a door underneath a loft like you see here. And going into the bathroom, you can see we have a full tile shower. So how much does this tiny house weigh? With the tile shower, all the extra kitchen cabinets, that little dining nook, it is 13,300 pounds. So well under that 21,000 pound capacity of the Tiny House Basics trailer. We're really happy with our customer's decision to go with the tile shower in this bathroom. It really turned out beautiful, and then a nice touch to the overall design of this house. We have a tiny little sink vanity right there. We have an exterior vent fan for the toilet. And then we have our separate composting toilet right there, which runs off 115 AC. So as mentioned earlier, we have gray water for all the rest of the outlets, water outlets, and then we have the separate composting toilet, so you can truly be off-grid. Going into this main master loft, this master loft is 12 feet deep. That includes that 2-foot bump out over on the exterior. And then looking out of the other side, we have an 8-foot loft over the 8-foot bedroom across. So we truly have 3 separate sleeping spaces in this tiny house. Thank you so much for tuning in, and visit our website at tinyhousebasics.com for more info.